Good evening, everyone. Welcome to this evening's Parent Club meeting. I'd like to call up our pastor, Father Mike, who will begin our meeting with a prayer.
We pray in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. Good and gracious God, you have been with us from the beginning, and you are with us now. You are with us in time of challenge, and you're with us in time of overcoming the challenges. Allow us to pause and give you thanks for all the many great gifts you've given us to overcome any challenge that has been before us, so that we may open our school, St. Juliana's, with safety and with responsibility, respect, patience, and courage. We are grateful that we can come back to our school to have in-person education and also education live streamed. Almighty God, pray that our parents especially may be the best of teachers to our children, the first of teachers in the ways of the faith, in the ways of responsibility, courage, and patience, so that the children may learn all that they have to learn and know what is essential in their lives. You, our Lord, forever and ever. Amen. It's important to pause and give a word of thanks to Mr. Gonzalez and to a variety of parents and everyone else who's participated in making the school year possible. We've overcome a lot of challenges, and it took a small army into various platoons so that we can do all that we had to do. It wasn't the easiest of openings, but it was an opening, and it's become very good to have the students back in our school. I've often said that St. Juliana's Parish would be rather boring if it weren't for the students, and the students would be rather boring if it weren't for me. I enjoy having them back every day. Their presence adds a particular joy, especially in knowing that the next generation of church is being formed in our Catholic school. I also want to take a moment to express my thanks for you parents for sending your children to St. Juliana School. There are options that are free and options that cost even more money than us, but we're glad that you're here. And here is a place that is connected to St. Juliana Parish. We're not just a private school, we're a parish grammar school. And I encourage you all to participate in the life of the parish. The life of the parish is on Sundays, the life of the parish is on weekdays, the life of the parish is also faith formation. The pillars of our parish are community, faith formation, and liturgy. Please be sure that you are doing your best to participate in the worship of God as the community of St. Juliana Parish, the liturgy of our parish, and also the faith formation of our parish. May all that we do begin with the charisms of St. Juliana and carry on in her love. May you know courage, responsibility, respect, and patience this year and every year. Thank you very much for all that you do. Thank you very much, Mr. Gonzalez, and the host of the team of parents and others who've come to welcome everybody back to St. Juliana and to make this school year possible. May we overcome every hurdle that's put in our way so that our students may be safe and their knowledge may be well-rounded and secure in the hope of reaching heaven. God bless.
And just to follow up what Father had said, I appreciate your support, Father, but this doesn't happen in reality without your support. So thank you so much in supporting us as a school. You were there every step of the way as we put these armies together, the battalions like you mentioned, and I just appreciate you always being there to support us. So good evening, parents of the St. Juliana community. We are off and running. I just want to begin by thanking the amazing faculty and staff that are going above and beyond this year to meet the needs of all of our 290 students. We have made a commitment to provide an outstanding Catholic education to our in-person and remote learners. I am very appreciative of the commitment of all the students and parents. We would not have been able to accomplish what we have done without your support. All of our St. J students have done a tremendous job of exemplifying the core values of prayer, knowledge, respect, responsibility, service, and leadership. The core values, which are the pillars of St. Juliana School, have extended beyond the school. I'm very thankful of the partnership with the St. Juliana community, especially the parents. And it is through this partnership that St. Juliana will continue to thrive as we navigate these ever-changing times in education. I also want to mention that we need to be prepared to pivot in any direction as we continue on our path to staying open. I also want to thank our wonderful facility and maintenance crew. They are on a consistent schedule of sanitizing the school throughout the day. Once again, I want to acknowledge the dedication and commitment of the administration, Janet Donnelly, Jan Young, the entire faculty and staff, our maintenance crew. They carry out so many responsibilities throughout the day, and it's done with smiles on their faces. Just a few updates before I hand this over to our Health and Safety Board and to our parent club. As we navigate this new school year with both on-campus and remote instruction, some live stream details have been brought to light. Please remember that live lessons via our Google site are for remote learners only. All students technically have access to this site, but the daily content is intended for remote learners only. The intention is for those students enrolled in remote learning program. If your student is absent for a day or two, please refrain from accessing the classroom live streams. The teachers will work with you and your student to make up lessons, content, or activities while they are away from school. Exceptions will be made if your child is required to be isolated or quarantined at home for an extended period of time. Tomorrow, we're expecting a letter from the Department of Catholic Schools on the status of our 7th and 8th graders. Once we receive that letter, we will publish it that evening. Please remember to complete the COVID-19 survey prior to arrival on Monday mornings. October 30th will be a half day. Student Council will be putting something together for our students to participate in our annual Halloween parade tradition. Students will come to the campus in their costumes. The security fence is in process. We are awaiting a planned site check this next week. This will provide an additional layer of security for our students, teachers, and staff. Thank you, everyone, for being here this evening, and thank you all for tuning in. I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Dr. Chris Celia and Nurse Crystal Lehman. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Mr. Gonzalez. It's wonderful to be with you all again, and we appreciate the opportunity to go over some of the things that we have done here at St. Juliana to ensure the safety of our students, faculty, staff, and the community at large. So I wanted to start with going through a brief presentation, and then after we do that, kind of talk a little bit about the partnership that we continue to enjoy with all of you as parents as we kind of move through, in some ways, these uncharted waters. So to start with, just a little bit about the virus. Most of you know about the virus and that it is primarily transmitted through fine particles in the air and surfaces that we touch and from others that we may come into contact with. Obviously, we like to use 6 feet as kind of a safe distance in keeping ourselves separated from others. It doesn't necessarily guarantee anything, but it certainly can reduce the transmission of COVID-19. So in terms of starting with the opportunities that we've had at the school to ensure and help keep our community safe, starts with our morning screenings. So we have our morning screenings. On Monday morning, we have our large screening, as Mr. Gonzalez mentioned. We love for all parents to remember to fill that screening out. It's a more extensive screening, but it can be done in just a few minutes. So that is what we like to start our week with. And then along the course of the week, teachers will be asking students verbally and parents verbally about these very same questions. We also, of course, screen for temperature in the morning. The second thing that we have ensured here is adequate opportunity to keep our hands clean. So we have hand sanitizers at every entrance to every classroom. We have installed new hand washing stations where a drinking fountain used to be. And we have also essentially in the restrooms made sure that there is a maximum capacity stated there so that students take turns going into the restroom and can distance themselves when they use the restrooms. And it's wonderful to see, but the feedback that I've received is that students have done a wonderful job of maintaining their spacing and taking turns using the restroom.
And the other thing about the restroom, I know some parents have expressed that that's an area of concern for them. In the boys, the men's restroom, there are urinals in there, and then there are stalls. The maximum capacity is set so that the urinals are actually not needed. So the students are able to have a barrier, the stall walls, between bathroom use, because the urinals are not in use, basically. So.
The next, of course, is our masking policy, which has, in our opinion, been very, very effective. Obviously, we've been at the school for a week, but in terms of the receptivity by students, again, the feedback that I have received is that students are doing a wonderful job of wearing their masks, and masking is an important part of our strategy, as that is the general place where the virus can enter our bodies, through our mucous membranes in our mouth, in our nose, and in our eyes.
So, and yes, if you know me, I was a skeptic of masking for the younger kids. I didn't think they would do it or enjoy it. And I am very pleasantly surprised as I've observed the classrooms in the first few days, and they have been masking in the younger grades. So that's great, and I'm happy about that.
Also, as Mr. Gonzalez mentioned, we owe a debt of gratitude to the wonderful team that we have on site here that are constantly cleaning surfaces that are touched frequently. Every evening, the classrooms are being decontaminated with a special fogging system that takes the particulate material out of the air and gets rid of it. It gets underneath the surfaces of desks, and then all of that is wiped down. This is a process that continues to be ongoing, including those surfaces on our play equipment as well. Those are being wiped down multiple times a day. So that's been a large part of our strategy, and will continue to do so.
And one of the things we didn't include in this slide is that fogger sprayer that comes through at the end of the day. I saw it, and it is pretty impressive. So that's just an additional layer of disinfection we're able to offer.
Of course, another part of our successful strategy here is our spacing and our distancing. And of course, in the classrooms, our desks are all spaced 6 feet apart. And we're trying to kind of work through recess time and lunch time. That's always a challenge. And at the beginning, of course, students are kind of kindly being reminded that if they are 6 feet apart, they can remove their masks. And if they're closer together and want to remain closer together, they're welcome to wear their masks. But our distancing strategy, we know, will be a part of this successful strategy. The other thing I wanted to put a plug in for, because it's something that probably won't be seen very much, and this is the ventilation upgrade that the school just put into place, and that is that we acquired the highest grade filters for our ventilation system, and also are using UV light to kill bacteria and viruses that are moving through these filtered areas. So when the air comes back out through the vents, it does so as clean as it possibly can. And this is something that will continue to be successful, especially as we get into the winter months when we won't be able to always have windows and doors open. This is going to be an effective strategy to reduce the spread of the virus.
And then also to add to that higher level ventilation, we are really trying to keep the doors open so that there is circulation from air, cleaner air from the outside. I guess with the fires, it's maybe not cleaner air, but uncontaminated air from the outside. So we do try and keep those doors open in all of the classrooms.
And of course, we wouldn't be complete. We have this nice strategy in place, but we want to make sure that the students feel comfortable with it. So Nurse Lehman, she's going to do an excellent presentation that will be presented to the students next week.
Yeah.
For how we can understand our strategies better, how we can continue to do the important things that we need to do to make sure we all stay safe. And so we owe a debt of gratitude to Crystal as she's putting that presentation together.
That's nice, thank you. Yeah, if you haven't joined us for some of the other broadcasts we've done, my background is that I'm a pediatric intensive care nurse and a nurse educator. So my job is actually to educate nurses on a variety of different things. And so that's part of the reason I'm here. And I believe very strongly that all of these things that the school's doing are not going to be successful without student and parent participation. So we're all navigating this new territory together. The students need education just as much as the staff and the parents do. So next week, fingers crossed, I will have education rolled out to each individual teacher for them to implement in their classroom, and that'll include kind of like a presentation they can put on the TV, as well as some hands-on kind of science project activities. Shouldn't take too long, but hopefully will be effective, and they'll be focused on hand hygiene, scrubbing, washing, hand sanitizer, and then the importance of masking. So.
And of course, we're recommending, as we're doing tonight and as we'll continue to do throughout the year, as much virtual communication as possible to minimize a lot of large in-person gatherings. I think this is the most important step, though. It's really to just show mercy and to be compassionate to one another as we all are kind of figuring our way through this. I know we all feel strongly about doing certain things, and certainly I think collectively feel strongly about how much we care about this community and how much we care about keeping this community safe. So I couldn't emphasize this enough in our interactions with one another, just continuing to be compassionate as we are working through all of this. So in terms of the second part of our presentation, I wanted to emphasize, as we talked about kind of all of the different opportunities that we have had to kind of keep the school and the community safe, the most important thing, though, is being able to do it repeatedly, doing it every day the same way, being dedicated to a ritual, if you will, of doing all of these things consistently. To us, on the Health and Safety Board, this is one of the most critical things that we can do. There are guidelines and rules, but keeping those alive every day in the same way is a really, really important part to this strategy. So we're asking to continue to be partners. We understand that this has been a difficult time for all of us. It's changed the way that we work, of course, the way that we school our children, and the way that we live our lives. But being partners in this, keeping this special community safe, is really a relationship between our school community, our parent community, and our church community. So just to give a couple examples of ways that we can kind of live our partnership. One is, of course, as was alluded to by Father and Mr. Gonzalez, we really want this to be reflective of our core values as a community. So we talk about the core values in the school for our children, but really these core values are for all of us to live together. Ideas of respect, responsibility, leadership. These are things that we all can rally around and really utilize as a way of kind of unifying as a community. So we wanted to call that out because that's a really important part of not only the strategy, but just our community. This is fundamental to who we are.
I'll cover this next slide because it's a little, I imagine it's a little hard to see from there.
Yeah.
So I have 4 bullet points here, and it's really, the list is much longer than this, and it ultimately comes down to being honest and having conversations with the faculty and your children. Again, the success of everything we implement here is dependent on the students and the parents also partnering with us. So the 4 bullet points are: keep your child home if they're sick. I've said this before, but we know our kids. We know when they're getting sick, and we know if they actually are sick. Again, recognize if an illness is their baseline normal stuffy nose, allergies, versus an actual illness, and have those conversations with the St. Juliana faculty so that we can help support you and you can help support our community. The other thing is be aware of COVID-19 exposures or potential exposures in your own home community and your community outside of St. Juliana. And if you feel that you could potentially be exposed, please be very forthcoming with that information, again, in being mindful of protecting our community and your family, so that we can help support you as you manage that within your own life too. Number 3 is be mindful of the sick protocol and communicate with administration. So hopefully you will never have to learn the sick protocol details because you will stay well. But if you have an illness, we will communicate what that protocol is to you, and we'll go over it a little bit in detail in a moment. And then again, remember that we're all truly in this together. There's nothing about this that has been easy, and there will be nothing about this that is easy if we encounter some bumps in the road. So be kind to each other, be kind to other families and the faculty as we embrace this together. And also remember, if it's not your child who may be struggling with something, may have to stay home or quarantine, whatever it may be supportive of those parents and encourage your children to speak kindly of other children as they potentially navigate obstacles ahead. So, all right, next one. How do we know if we've been infected by COVID-19?
Absolutely. So these are just a small list of symptoms that essentially individuals can get if they have COVID-19. Fever, cough, shortness of breath, problems with breathing, loss of taste or smell, also nasal congestion, and some other symptoms that we get when we have regular viruses, muscle aches, fatigue. So if any of those symptoms are noted, if we note those amongst ourselves or our children, and going back to what Crystal said, make sure that we're communicating that to the administration here at St. Juliana.
And again, this is what is normal for your child, and if it's not normal, then it's something really to consider keeping your child home for. So,
I think this is the best advice as well. So if these symptoms do happen to occur, don't panic because we have a whole protocol set up here at the school to help support families. As Crystal said, I couldn't agree with her more in terms of how she described this process. We want to support as a school, you as a family through this, and we encourage other families to support those families that are, just trying to help their family members get better through all of this. We do recommend and have the opportunity to get tested. So the Anaheim Convention Center still remains a super testing site, and it's been encouraged of us that if faculty, staff, students, parents develop any one of those symptoms, to make sure that they go get tested if they like. We do encourage testing for a couple reasons. It really helps us with what we call contact tracing. So if we need to figure out who might have been around the individual that tested positive for longer than 15 minutes if they were less than 6 feet apart, if they test positive, there are certain implications for those individuals that might have been exposed. So although it is optional, we do really encourage getting tested.
So as we move forward through the next slides, these are the what-if answers that hopefully you'll never have to recall as we move forward. But the reason we say testing is optional is because really testing positive or negative result will not change the way you have to distance from a school environment. So we'll cover that a little bit. And I'll let Dr. Celio explain these, but the short version of your answer is going to be if you're sick, you're home for 10 days. If you've been exposed, you're home for 14 days. And the difference, why would you be sick and home for 10 versus longer if you were only exposed is, he'll explain it, but is you're waiting for symptoms to pop up. That's why the longer duration of time versus you already know you're sick and you're waiting for the illness to pass and not viral shed quite so much, which takes on average about 10 days. So I'll let you explain that differently.
No, it's very well said. So we wanted to make sure that it was consistent across everybody here at St. Juliana, that if someone came down with a COVID symptom, that regardless of whether or not they tested positive, because we do know that testing isn't perfect. And if we really want to keep the school and the community as safe as we possibly can, we have to factor in all of those different variables. So someone may go get tested, they may test negative, but they actually may be a false negative, and we'd hate to return them back into the community to infect others. So we made the decision that everyone that has a COVID symptom stays home for 10 days. They may return to campus after they're fever-free for 24 hours, and the symptoms are getting better. So you have to stay home for the 10 days and meet those other two criteria.
So it's both, asymptomatic and 10 days.
Exactly. And then finally, as Crystal said, if someone happens to test positive, and this is where testing becomes really, really helpful. If someone tests positive and you are considered a close contact, then you must remain home for a total of 14 days. And the wisdom in that is that the period of time that the virus incubates can be anywhere from 2 to 14 days. And so we don't want to have someone come back to school early and develop the symptoms toward the end of that 14-day period. So you will know, the school will help walk everyone through this, so it won't be something that anyone has to question themselves about. This will be something that you will have a lot of support in. But should your child be considered a close contact, what will likely happen is they'll be asked to stay home until the individual that has the symptoms is tested. And if that student decides to be tested and is negative, then those individuals that went home can return to school. If that individual tests positive, then that full 14 days of quarantine must be maintained.
All right, we're making good time, Chris. We have about 2 more slides and about 2 more minutes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yep, there you
So just to kind of wrap this up, the important thing is if we can really try to maintain all of these important safety protocols with a cadence and a consistency, we're going to be most successful. And secondly, we really, really appreciate your partnership in this. We have already witnessed, as I talk to the teachers, as I talk to Mr. Gonzalez, the wonderful job and conscientiousness of all of the parents. I have only received positive feedback from faculty and staff about parents' participation in this, and we just really ask that that continue for this entire year. It is in that partnership that we're going to keep this community of St. Juliana safe. And we thank you so much for your time. I'm going to turn it back over to Mr. Gonzalez and to the Parent Club. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we got a brief intermission. If you'd like to get up and get a drink of water or anything at this time as we change on over to get ready for our Parent Club presentation. There's a few things I'd like to go ahead and share really quickly that did come up during the live chat. Somebody asked about the COVID-19 survey form that we are asking for parents to fill out Monday morning. We are going to work on sending out an email blast every Sunday evening. So please expect an email blast that will be sent out to every parent every Sunday evening as we go forward. And working with our Health and Safety Board, we're also going to explore other avenues to make it maybe a little bit more user-friendly for you as parents. So just like I mentioned before, you know, we're navigating some different times here, so bear with us, and things are always subject to change. Another question came up regarding face shields. If your child would like to have a face shield, and you see them struggling with their mask, that's something that we can provide them with. They are in the classrooms. Please email the teacher and let the teacher know that your child would like to have a face mask, okay? One of the other things as well, our remote learning coordinator, Emily Guthrie, who's doing an amazing job with our students with remote learning. She wanted me to let everybody know, those who are at home, there's going to be a new updated schedule coming out. I believe she'll be sending that out this evening, so just be aware that that's going to be something coming in your email box. Very rarely do I ever get a chance to do this, and I want to go ahead. I want to thank all the individuals behind the scenes that are setting this up for us in this live stream. This does not happen without them being here this evening, setting up these cameras, setting up these lights, and setting in getting us prepped for this. So I just want to say thank you to all of them back there. It's an entire team that's sitting back behind there, getting everything set up there for us. Okay, we're going to go ahead and see where we're at with our parent club presentation. Please just give us a few seconds as we set this up.
Yeah, who's gonna, can someone go through the slides?
You know what, I'll go ahead and please let me know you want me to go ahead and switch slides for you, Brian, okay?
Yeah. There we are.
Thank you so much.
Where am I looking? What's that? Can you hear me? Should I get closer? We all set?
You're set, you're live.
Okay, well, hey, thank you, everybody. Hopefully you stuck around with us. My name is Brian Bartholomew. I'm the president of the Parent Club. You may have seen a couple of my videos the last couple of weeks talking about our Dining for Dollars events and those type of things. But I just want to let you know a little bit what Parent Club does. We are probably your main fundraising arm for the school. And just let me introduce a couple of the people, even though they're not going to come up, I can tell you their names. Myself, obviously the president, Tina Aquino, and you can't see them, but they're out in the crowd here, this vast crowd we have. She's our vice president. Melissa Pellicer is our treasurer. Christine Sweeney is our amazing secretary. Sheila Dobbins is in charge of spiritual affairs for us. Tammy Cooper is our parliamentarian, and Ryan Kennedy is our Ways and Means chairperson. But I just want to go, next slide please, for some of the programs that are funded by Parent Club, and obviously things have changed a lot this year. But one of the main things obviously we're doing this year is the health and safety enhancements to the school. We're helping to fund some of those things. Obviously the security fence from last year, we're still helping to fund that. The library, science, technology, music. This year we're hoping to do, if we're not able to do live field trips, to be able to do some virtual field trips that we can help to fund. Obviously scholarships, class funds for various things, and then art, and a lot more things that we do as well as they come up. So those are some of the things that we do fund. I just want to say before we go on to the next slide that this year obviously is very special, and you all understand that. So if you are able to give a little more this year, because we have missed some events, if you'd usually give at a different event, we would ask that you can help out. Contact any of us at the Parent Club. We'd love to help you do that to help support the school. Next slide, please. One thing we're going to be doing, and Ryan's going to be coming up in a little bit to talk about some upcoming fundraisers we have, but we are making some really great St. Juliana masks, and these are Dr. Celio approved. You can't see him, he's hiding now, but he's given us the okay, and actually it's the same mask that I'm wearing here. Similar to this mask here, but it's going to come in 3 different sizes, and we'll have sizes for our TK and kinder, and then we'll have a teen size. It'll be 1st through 6th or 7th grade, and then we will have some adult sizes as well. And then you'll be able to see, we'll have an order form that comes out. And how's the order form? Are we sending those home, or it'll be an online order form, and thank you because you sent that to me so I could check it today. But we will have an online order form for you. Order as many as you like. They're going to be $7 each. It's a small fundraiser for us. We'd love you to do that and show spirit for the school, but also trying to help protect your children. And you can get various colors so you know which day you're on as well. So that's going to be coming out. And then if you have questions about the mask, you can email us at the Parent Club at St. Juliana School. And then on the order form, you'll see where you'll be able to send your checks to. You'll make them payable to St. Juliana School. And attention, Melissa Pellicer. She's great, and she's our treasurer, and she'll be taking all that in for us. So we hope you can support us on one of these first fundraisers coming up that's going to be inside the school. Okay? Next slide, please. And so I'm going to bring up Ryan Kennedy, our Ways and Means chairperson. He's going to walk through a couple of the events we have coming up.
Thank you, Brian. I'm Ryan Kennedy. I am the Ways and Means chairperson this year, and just want to piggyback on what Brian said as far as a lot of the things that the fundraising that this school helps out with is not extra stuff. It's stuff that the students do every day and need in their classrooms every day. And the other part of it is many people say they're at St. Juliana because they love the community. And a lot of these fundraisers are great ways to get in the community and get to know people. This year, it's not ideal. However, some of these fundraisers are still great ways to get together. So this week in September, or this month in September, we have the Charleston gift wrap going on. And then tomorrow night, we have Twisted Vine Dining for Dollars. We had a Dining for Dollars 2 weeks ago at the Bowery and Bourbon Street. And they were very, very gracious. And we had some families going out there, and it's a great way to get together and see some of the people in the community. We're going to continue having Dining for Dollars probably at least once a month moving forward. So you will hear about some in October and in November. Also in November, we're going, oh, please go back one. Also in November, we're going to be having a virtual cooking class. So we have a master chef that'll be on there and teaching people how to cook an excellent meal from home. So that could be fun, and also you can get the kids involved, maybe for the dessert or something along those lines. And November, we're going to have a virtual jogathon. You'll be hearing about all of these things through email, so please check your emails and read the emails on how these will work. And of course, you can reach out to us as well with questions. Yeah, next slide, please. After the first of the year, we are going to be having our gala this year. It will be a little bit different. We're going to be having a virtual gala, and you'll get more information about that. Fish fry as well. We're not sure exactly how that's going to run, but we will see. And we do have golf tournaments scheduled this year as well. And the golf tournament itself will be in person. However, the auction and those things will be virtual. So tomorrow night is Twisted Vine. I just want to ask a quick question before I turn it over to Tina and just say, gentlemen out there, if are there any of you that say your wife doesn't deserve a night out? Could you turn to your spouse right now and say, honey, you don't deserve that? If not, then I hope to see all of you tomorrow night at Twisted Vine, because they all deserve it. Yes. Yes, so fine babysitting. It is 21 and over at Twisted Vine. However, you can do pickup. So if it's a night that you can't find a sitter, then you can order food for your family and pick it up. And 20% of everything that they make tomorrow night goes to our school. So it's very, very generous. Yes, exactly. Fill your wine cellar. So I'm going to bring up Tina. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name's Tina Aquino, and talking about your favorite topic, script. I know we've had a lot of questions come in regards to script because currently we are only able to offer it online. So on this slide, if you can see our presentation, if not, we'll be emailing this out. We have the new Raise Right mobile app. I encourage you right now, if you're home, to pull out your phones, and even here in the audience, pull out your phones, go to your app store, and find the Raise Right mobile app and download it. It is our way of purchasing script to meet our yearly $200 goal that we have for the school. We do have some new script chairs this year. So we have Dina Kennedy, Tiffany Uhart and Nicole Johnson. So they have been working together to come up with other ways that we can go ahead and offer script to the families. So coming soon, not yet, a communication will be coming out. This is fresh off the press. We will be allowing you to order physical cards. So when you're online on this Shop with Script site, you can go ahead and order physical cards starting in October. So more details to come as to order dates, when cards are going to come in. All of that will come out in an email communication, but I just wanted to let you all know you can order some physical cards. So hope that you're able to enroll, help us sell script online, and reach our quota for the year. And in addition to Help the Script program, we have the Ralph's Community Rewards. We don't have a ton of people who participate in this, but I think this is a great opportunity right now, since I know many of you are cooking at home and grocery shopping a lot. Ralph's Community Rewards program, you have to re-enroll every September 1st. So if you can go ahead and go to your Ralph's Rewards online, re-enroll. I do have the, in a communication, we'll go ahead and send out the enrollment code for St. Juliana. But I believe if you even just type St. Juliana School, it will come up as well. Re-enroll now today, and every time you shop, a portion of your expenses will come back to the school. So just last month, we received a check for $700, and that's all just because you are all shopping. So encourage your parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, neighbors, give them our enrollment code, and get everybody registered for the Ralph's Rewards, Community Rewards.
So I think that's about it for the Parent Club tonight, but kind of waiting in the wings, it makes me think about a lot of other things. But I just want everyone to kind of think about, now that we're not all on site, we haven't seen each other, some of us haven't seen each other since March, please don't forget about what's going on at the school. It's still very important to be involved any way you can be. We still have positions open for the Parent Club or for committees, so those communications go out. If you're not able to do it on your own, or you think it's too much to do, grab a buddy and get them involved. It doesn't even have to be a parent. It could be as long as they're, fingerprinted or whatever we need them to do. I mean, you and the grandparent or something like that, but we need people to fill these positions so we can be successful, make sure we are raising money for the school, and we're doing the best we can for our kids, for our staff, because I've been on now not only the Parent Club now for about a year and a half, but also part of the Health and Safety Board, and the work that's going in to try to get us to where we're at right now has been incredible. So we hope you'll continue to support, be part of that, and get involved. And all of these things we're doing as fundraisers, please try to be involved. And like Tina was saying, please talk to your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, everybody, and have them get involved as well if they can. Okay? So I'll pass over to Mr. G.
I just want to close by thanking everybody for being here tonight, our Parent Board, Health and Safety Board, and for all of you who are at home watching. Thank you so much for participating in the chat as well. And may God bless each and every one of you, and have a wonderful, wonderful evening. God bless.